Yeah. Hair flip. Yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip. Yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these hoes. Hi.
Hi everyone, welcome back to your boy SeanDavieWay. And today we will be getting into Kelly Price and her disappearance and what happened with this whole fiasco that we call Kelly Price's life within this moment. Well, if you've been under a rock, Kelly Price had been listed as a missing person after her family could not get in contact with her because of her alleged boyfriend slash husband slash fiance, whatever he is. They haven't been able to get in contact with her. So since they weren't able to, they filed a missing persons report and had a welfare check done. And in the process of that, it started all of this drama. So before we get into Kelly missing and whatnot, let's get into who this mystery man is that Kelly is around. So let's get messy. Article from the U.S. Sun. Who is Kelly Price's fiance? Price has been open about her engagement, but has stated before that she wants to keep his identity a secret for the time being. In an interview with Madame Noir back in March of 2020, Price talked about her relationship and explained the reasoning behind her decision. Price's quote, "I'm actually engaged right now," she told the media outlet. "I haven't said much publicly yet, but I've been with someone for about 2 years now. I intentionally kept it quiet because I told myself when it comes time to let the world know, I'll let the world know exactly who that individual is." Price continued, "Now, I do know better. If for some reason it doesn't work, I won't ever force myself to stay in a situation that's not working. But I am taking my time and vetting everything. And not just the individual, because when you meet a person, you like them and you're feeling them, you have to decide whether you love them enough to deal with their family. And they love you enough to deal with yours. What other family members think may not control what happens in your house, but it will have some level of effect because you're literally taking two backgrounds. You're meshing them and trying to become one in everything. Now, to me, little side note here, SeanDavieWay's opinion, I believe that this is Kelly stating that there was issues with both sides. I think that she may have had some problems with his family, and he has made some, public statements to her, I should say, not more so publicly like on social media, but more so openly to her that he has some problems with hers, especially since the family alleges that they tried to contact Kelly and they, had no luck, especially through this new man that has been in Kelly's life for some years now. It doesn't seem as if he gets along with certain people in her family. And I think that that may be the reason that they stayed engaged for the time frame that they stayed engaged for, because like she said, she was vetting. This is a vetting process and there's already been a lot of bumps in the road. So, let's see how this works. Was Kelly Price missing? Just a few months after announcing her engagement, Price was reported missing following a welfare check conducted at her Georgia home on September 18th, 2021. Authorities told TMZ that they found no evidence of foul play and spoke with Kelly's boyfriend at the house. Price went missing after being released from the hospital following a battle with C-19. The singer told her fans on July 29th that she tested positive and was struggling with the symptoms. A week later, she was hospitalized. Price's family told TMZ that they were in touch with her while she was in the hospital, but had not heard from her since she was released. Hours after she was reported missing, Cobb County officials told The Sun that they were later notified that Kelly has returned. She is with family, but the investigation remains ongoing, so I cannot provide any further details at this time, the major said. Her daughter also confirmed that Price was not missing, according to the CBS 46. So clearly the family cannot get in contact with Kelly. Kelly does speak, so we will be hearing what Kelly has to say about this whole debacle later on in this video. But at this point in time, to where the daughter feels the need to reach out to other people, and the sister, who is technically estranged from Kelly, they don't speak on a day-to-day basis, or sometimes they go a certain amount of time without speaking to one another, but they are on at least speaking terms. They're not necessarily friendly. It sounds like they've had their bumps in the road, but they do acknowledge each other's presence. So, once again, that being said, the daughter, she only heard from her mom while she was in the hospital. So she's not treating the situation to where, like, I haven't heard from my mom at all. It's just more so she has been out of the hospital for days, and we have heard not a peep, from her. Like, is she okay? Did she fall ill? She was already rushed to the hospital in the first place due to her not doing good with COVID. Not everybody gets better, afterwards. Some people go home and they still have, a lot of problems. They still struggle. Some people still end up passing away, at home. So she was just sounds like she was just really concerned. And it doesn't sound like, once again, that they have a good relationship with Kelly's boyfriend / fiance / husband, because why would he just not say something to them? If you see people are trying to contact Kelly, if people are showing up at Kelly's home, family members, people that are concerned, open your mouth as a man. I just don't understand, besides the fact that clearly there is a problem. Clearly Kelly's husband or fiance or boyfriend, whomever he is, he does not respect her family. He does not care for them. And I think that also drives a wedge between Kelly and her family as well, because it's two parties that you love. You love him and you also love your family. So it does sound like there is a wedge. Now, I wasn't satisfied with just hearing, that Kelly's in a relationship, and it sounds like she's been dating this man since around 2016, 2017. So let's dive further. Let's figure out, who is this mystery man? Kelly Price opens up about her boyfriend. The JasmineBrand.com exclusively reports Kelly Price is officially opening up about her new love and new man. In 2015, the soulful singer and her husband, Jeffrey Roll Sr., ended their 24-year marriage. And for the past few months, the public has speculated about an attractive mystery man that has been featured on Kelly's social media pages. Kelly exclusively confirms that she is indeed in a relationship. Her boyfriend's name is Terrell, and he's been in the Navy for 19 years. Kelly tells us. Well, I'm nosy. So just finding out that his name is Terrell and that, he was in the Navy for 19 years is not enough for me. So let's get into Terrell. His last name is Babers or Barbers, or however you want to pronounce it. And Terrell was reportedly dating Kelly. While her current Instagram profile has no pictures of him, several reports suggest that they were spotted spending a lot of time together. According to Essence.com, the couple became lovers after being friends. In an interview with JasmineBrand.com, Kelly opened up about her relationship and revealed that she and Terrell decided to give love with a friend a chance to thrive. She had reportedly shared a picture with him and a couple more friends in October 2020, which showed them vacationing in Georgia. The post has been since taken down. The Daily Mail reported recently that Price's family had accused Bobbers of keeping them away from visiting her at the home when she was discharged early from the hospital in late August. Kelly has been found now, but that's all about we know. We have to wait until the cops or Kelly herself gives us more insight into what actually happened after she was released from the hospital. So there were some people trying to speak for Kelly, if you will, more so trying to give people insight, of the situation in more detail. Some celebrities, starting with Nikki Gilbert. Now, Nikki Gilbert is from the group Brownstone. She also did the show R&B Divas, a reality show in the past with Kelly Price. So, allegedly, Nikki states that Kelly's daughter and sister, had reached out to her. More so, Kelly's daughter had reached out to Nikki on multiple occasions, requesting help and guidance in trying to get in contact with her mother because she had not spoke to Kelly since Kelly had been released from the ICU. So, Nikki talks about it, and in this next clip, we're going to see her basically promoting this information as if it's tea or reason to get people to come to her show, and a lot of people found distaste in that. So before we get into that, let's get into this clip of Nikki Gilbert pretty much promoting her alleged friend Kelly Price is bad health, and promoting the fact that she's been talking to the family about Kelly being missing.
Hey guys, I hope all is well. I just wanted to jump in here real quick to say, first, happy Sunday, and second, I have spoken with Kelly Price. She called me last night. We had a very extensive conversation. I'm not going to share the details right now because I feel like Kelly should speak when she's ready. But Kelly is fine. She's not on a ventilator. She's not a hostage. She is healing from COVID. It was indeed Kelly. And if you are like me and you're really concerned about her, I hope that this does your heart good to know that our sister is A-okay. So that is all. We're still talking Missing Girls, the BMF premiere, and of course I'm going to share my thoughts on what I've learned from this situation and how we can all grow and evolve tonight at 10:30 on She Speaks Live. The link is in my bio. But Kelly's good. All right. Peace and love.
So in the clip we just watched, you see Nikki Gilbert basically, uses this information as promotion for her show, which is very distasteful and insensitive. So Nikki gives that she's the type of friend that just talks too much. She's that person that just doesn't know when to shut up. She has a big mouth and she's also a loud mouth. So let's get into the people that had an issue with that, starting with, Kelly's friend, Debrat. She had a lot to say about Nikki Gilbert, using Kelly's pain for profit.
What's up, y'all? I did not plan to come on live tonight. I just got off a flight. I'm tired as hell. I'm trying to go home and get into bed. But when I start looking at social media, I'm seeing people talk about Kelly and say I have spoken to her and all this bullshit. Like, yeah, a few of us have spoken to Kelly. A few of her real friends and family that she fucked with. Like that. We've spoken to her. But this is not our fucking battle to speak out or to promote a motherfucking thing. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. You let them tell their story when they get ready. Or if you know what I'm saying? Like, if I talk to my friends and something is wrong, they not finna jump on social media or be trying to promote something and use my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, Kelly is okay. And her children know that, and that's the bottom line. So when you heard that she was okay from her children and her attorney, what else the fuck do you want? So just wait for Kelly or whatever she wants to do. I would think that would be enough, but people got to still keep up shit. And she not this and she not that. I spoke to a lot of us spoke to her, and she gave me permission to let some of the people know that have reached out to me that she's okay, without going in depth, without discussing what my friend and I discussed, because it's not nobody's business until she gets ready to tell it. Now, I don't want to be all involved in this shit, but I love Kelly, and we communicate, okay? And I'm not finna be like, it don't even matter. I'm just letting y'all know, Kelly's gonna speak to y'all soon. She is okay. But it's up to her to tell you the rest of the story. Please stop with this bullshit. Like, my goodness.
I spoke to Kelly, but make sure to watch my show tonight. Bitch.
Oh.
Girl.
Like,
I'm not promoting.
I didn't
promoting.
Like, come on, like at the expense of somebody's life or health or that's and if she didn't give you permission to do that, don't motherfucking do that. That's so I can't. That's so petty. Like, you are not a fucking friend when you do shit like that. You just crossed over to the other motherfucking side. Like, that is disrespectful. It's disgusting. Shit. Alright, I gotta get off this shit. And I had permission. But I ain't said shit. But she alright. My friend is okay. And I ain't got shit to gain from it. The shit done pissed me the fuck off. I would never want somebody to do me like that. Ugh. It's disgusting. Shit.
So clearly the brat was very upset. She absolutely was. And Nikki Gilbert definitely wanted to respond to what the brat had to say during the live show, because remember, the brat said all of this before Nikki Gilbert went live yesterday night. So let's get into it without further ado. Let's get into what Nikki Gilbert had to say about the Kelly Price situation, her daughter, Kelly's sister, and so on and so forth. And also kind of the brat, throwing subtle shade at the brat.
Like, is she okay? Does anybody know if she's okay? Nobody heard from her. So I said, well, you know what? I don't want to violate her privacy, and I would be kind of mad if somebody reached out to my family without me knowing, but let me wait a little longer. Waited a little longer. We got a call for a third date in New Jersey for Kelly Price. And I was like, okay, this is something going on. Ain't nobody missing no money. Something must be serious with Kelly. Nobody's missing out on some money. Something's got to be serious. So I reached out to Nia, her daughter, who I've met, who I know is her daughter. I said, Nia, I reached out to her and said, just checking in, sweetheart. You know, we're playing some dates that your mom is playing. Please tell me everything is okay. Is she okay? Right? Nia's response to me was immediate and very serious. I'm not going to go into the specific details of that, but she said, Miss Nikki, can you please call me? It's important. When she said it, I said to my husband, oh my God, this sounds like something could be wrong. I'm scared to even call her back. I don't want to get drugged in the middle of it. I'm scared but I want to make sure Kelly's okay. I said, well, if she calls me back, I'll wait. If she calls me back, then I will return her call, because I don't want her to feel like I'm not going there for her, or I'm not willing to talk to her. So Kelly's daughter, Nia, called me a few times, back to back. Can you talk? Can you talk? And we were really preparing for some stuff, and I just didn't want to, I didn't want to. Anyway, called her. She wanted to meet. She wanted to meet face to face. I said, instead of meeting face to face, it's COVID, I would like for us to talk on the phone. So she called me, and she said, Miss Nikki, it's not good. It's not good at all. She said, my mom is in trouble. I said, Nia, what do you mean? What's going on? She said, my mom is very ill. The last time I saw my mother, she was in intensive care. She had tubes all down her throat. She could not speak. I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. Now, this is really important for y'all to realize. And again, I'm only sharing this because there's a narrative out there that's all wrong about my involvement in this. This was probably 5 weeks ago. I'm not giving y'all specifics and dates. So I called Nia. I was like, Nia, well, what can you do? Can you call, this person? Can you call that person? I know she was working with this person. She said to me, there is no one that I am comfortable having this conversation with but you. Now, I don't know what the dynamics are going on in the family. I don't know. It doesn't matter. My friend is on life support. I'm shocked that I'm the person that she's like, I need to talk to you. She's like, but I see your advocacy. Right. I know my mom respects you. I know you have my mother's back. Will you please talk to me about what I need to do for my mom? There are not a lot of people I can trust. So she told me what was going on, what they had been working on. She gave me a lot of details that I'm not going to repeat here for headlines and fodder and for people to have opinions about. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. So I said, Nia, I said, I got your back. I said, but I want to try to play this from the background because I remembered when I spoke up for Whitney Houston, what that backlash was. I never spoke about Maxie because of what, I'm like, oh, people just want to run with stuff. You know what I mean? I said, so I'm kind of PTSD'd a little bit with talking about stuff like this, but I'm going to help you, baby, because your mother is a woman in this industry that we all know and love. And if you're telling me that you've reached out to everyone else and no one else is helping you, I'm not going to turn my back on you, Nia.
That's right.
So I called Chris. I called Tisha. I called Pam. I called Tosha. I called my village. And I said, how can you help me navigate this? Because I'm stuck between caring a lot about my friend and making sure she's okay. There's a fine line between minding your business and looking out for your friend and making sure everything's okay. And if it was anybody but her daughter, they said, Nikki, Tisha will tell you have an obligation to listen and to do whatever it is that you can do to help. Just lay low. Well, Nia, I said, sweetheart, I'm here for you. I helped her with some other things we're not going to discuss. And then I started to call a few more people like, hey, Nia called me. Nia, has concern about her mother. And literally everybody I called, in all their defense, said, maybe Kelly just doesn't want to be bothered. Maybe Kelly is just, healing, and she, you don't know the dynamic. Maybe she doesn't want to be bothered. So now I'm stuck between a daughter who I know to have a good relationship with her mother, and a daughter and a bunch of other people who kind of like, look, maybe it's not so serious, and I'm stuck. So I left it alone for a minute. Nia called me back. Miss Nikki, I don't know what to do. I'm really worried about my mother. And she was genuine. It wasn't no game, no BS. She was genuinely concerned. And then she shared some other things, which I'm not going to share any of that. So I said, Nia, the best thing that I can do, she said, I just want to check on her. I just want to make sure she's okay. She said, I attempted to check on her before, and I was unsuccessful because a series of things transpired at that time, which I'm not going into. I know what they are. For those of you who are like, all she can say is from what I understand. Lady on Twitter. I say what I should say and not what anyway. So said to Nia, I will try to do my best to help you find your mother. I will do my best to try to help you arrange to have a welfare check, right? So the thing about this welfare check that I did, I called a few friends because I have relationships with really dope, amazing people. And I said I wanted to do a welfare check, but I wanted to be very private. I don't want anybody to know about it. I don't want it to be a big thing because it's a high profile person. Her daughter has said to me she does not know what to do. Can you help me? I reached out to Pam, who is the chairman of the board on my foundation, because we have done and dealt with situations like this before through From the Bottom Up Foundation. And I said I need to remove myself as Nikki Kelly Price's friend and an entertainment industry person. Right. Can you help me from the foundation side, help figure out what we can do to help her in private? So we did that. We made a couple of calls and we got some really influential folks in law enforcement that we know to go and do a very private, low key, right? No press, no lights, no nothing. Not even really on the record like that. Welfare check for Kelly Price's daughter, who asked me several times if I could help her. They did the welfare check. They said there was no response. Nobody was at the door. If they want to take it any farther, they have to do a missing persons report. That's what it became. So she then... I said to her, if you want to go any farther with this, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm trying to dance around what I should be saying and what I could be sharing and all this other stuff. But anyway, she said, I said, Nia, talk to your brother, talk to your family, decide if you want to, there she is, decide if you want to do a missing persons report. It could be a big thing. Are you sure your mother's not? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? 596 times. Are you sure Kelly's not just, are you sure? Everybody started to become concerned because everybody was like, well, did you talk to Nia? Have you talked to Kelly? Everybody's concerned at this point. So now I'm getting more concerned. So then I reached out to Kelly's former manager, Gabby. No, I'm sorry. Chronology is wrong. Forgive me. We played the Detroit date. We got the other date. I said, Nia, we booked another date. Have you spoken to your mom? She said, no, I still have not spoken to my mother. And my aunt issued a welfare check on my mother. And it didn't go well from what I understand because she didn't respond. I said, oh, you have an aunt here. I didn't know you had an aunt. Well, good. This is another person that cares about your mother. Maybe she could pick up the slack and I could just let the ball go. So you and your aunt and because again, I know how some of y'all out here in these Instagram, social media streets be thinking somebody's doing something for clout, right? So I didn't want to get involved in that. So I said, give your aunt my number. If she needs anything, have her call me. I want to stay out of it. I want to stay behind the scenes, as Kelly's sister has mentioned that I have said. But I will help as much as I can because nobody else, according to them, was helping them. No.
Now, I was watching this video with Nikki. There's a couple things that I want to point out. The first thing that I want to point out is, Nikki, I don't think that Kelly is your friend. When you stated that you reached out to Kelly on multiple occasions and she did not respond or say anything to you, there are a selected amount of people that Kelly did choose to speak with, and you are not one of those people. So you ought to be ashamed of yourself for going forward trying to make it seem as if you are entitled for coming forward and telling even part of Kelly's story. All of this should have been handled in the background, which is my second point. If you are truly genuinely wanting to help Kelly's daughter and make sure that, her daughter was introduced to the proper channels to make it so that she could see her mother or just know that her mother was okay, you should have did that privately. And when you do something private, it doesn't mean that you get to talk about it publicly later. No, something that is genuine. Meaning if I borrow you some money, I'm not going to go announce it to the world when that's between you and I. That has nothing to do with anybody else. And also, we're going to get into in this part of in a segment of the video that's coming up, Kelly Price and the police department is stating that charges can be brought up for false reports and false reporting, and it does sound like they are going to be bringing up charges. Nikki states in this live that we just saw that she is the one who did the first welfare check, and not only is she the one who had basically called the police, which, Nikki, I feel like you're clout chasing, although you're saying you're not, because you make it seem like you called somebody special in the police department to go over there and do a welfare check. Not only did their check fail when they went to do their welfare check, Nikki, on top of that, I'm sorry, it's not funny, but you just called the police just like anybody else can. So you basically just called the police and sent them over there to do a welfare check. You didn't send a special detective or, anything like that over there. It makes no sense. You just called 911 like anybody else. And then on top of that, you coerced the daughter. You fed to Kelly's daughter that she needed to file a missing persons report on Kelly. So you could be brought up on charges too, Nikki, because you were telling Kelly's daughter to file a missing persons report. Although I think the actual report was made by Kelly's sister. I don't think it was made by the daughter herself, but it does seem as if, charges can be brought up on you, Nikki, for requiring Kelly's daughter to get the police involved to make a missing persons report on somebody that she fully doesn't know is in any danger or is actually missing. She had no idea. And Nikki, you didn't help. You as an elder, as someone older, you should have done better. I mean, this girl is in her 20s, no excuse, but still at the same time, you're the older one in this equation. You definitely used Kelly Price, Nikki. You didn't have to talk about any of this stuff that you are talking about. And once again, you're really not Kelly's friend. You're not. Like Kelly said, she spoke to certain people. She wanted certain people to know. Kelly alleges that her family knew what was going on with her. I don't know if Kelly is just, insinuating the fact that her family knew what was going on with her in the hospital, or if they knew what was going on at the hospital and at home. But still, besides the point, you didn't have to say any of this stuff. And Kelly didn't say anything first. You spoke before Kelly. And you also insinuated the fact that there's definitely problems between Kelly's husband, Terrell, and her family members. You're definitely displaying that throughout the video, to where the daughter was wasn't having success, I should say, with getting in contact with her mother because her husband does not like her. It's basically what you are saying, Nikki. So yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Nikki Gilbert. But without further ado, let's get into what Kelly Price has to say about this entire situation.
I woke up a couple of days later, and the first thing I remember is the team of doctors standing around me and asking me if I knew what year it was.
Wait, when you say they lost you, can you clarify what that means?
Yeah, I died. And the next thing, it was some days later. I remember waking up in ICU and the doctor asking me if I remembered what year it was. I'm sorry, not what day, if I knew what year it was. Going into the hospital, I'd actually had COVID for over a week, but my conditions were progressing in the wrong direction from home. And we're jumping all the way in. So I had it. My husband did not have it. He was taking care of me at home, speaking with my primary care physician, giving me breathing treatments, giving me my medicine every 4 hours. He was in constant communication with her. And eventually he ended up testing positive within a week after I got it and just prior to me going into the hospital. She could see, she was seeing me every day on FaceTime and walking him through administering meds. And when it got to a point, my temperature had raised right to about 103 and my breathing was extremely shallow. And so he called the ambulance. And so I had to go to the hospital. Well, I was discharged. The hospital needed beds. I was able to go home and go home with oxygen, and go home with oxygen and have home health aides come check on me throughout the week, which is what happened for a period of 4 weeks after being released from the hospital. So people were definitely seeing me. The people that could actually say something are not allowed to because of HIPAA law. But I was being seen several times a week by home health aides after being released on oxygen. And I actually just got my first clean COVID test probably exactly a week ago. So I have what is called long COVID. And I am facing a very uphill battle right now. So I'm gonna cry. I have a lot of rehabbing to do. I suffered a lot of internal damage. And so I have a lot of rehabbing to do before I am able to be what I like to call concert ready again. And following the year I've had losing so many people, I had just lost my grandmother before I was diagnosed. And I feel like the only way I can focus on me is to actually focus on me. There were people, I don't know how, fans or whoever they were, coming to my house, people ringing the bell, leaving things at my doorstep, disturbing my neighbors all times of the day and night. I've had that happen. It got to the point, and this wasn't months ago, I literally just left my house maybe a week ago because I couldn't rest there. My doorbell was being rung all hours of the day and night. I turned off everything. I wasn't on social media. It hasn't been 2 months since I've seen my sister. It's been a year. I haven't been in the same room with her since my mother's funeral. Prior to that, we hadn't seen each other all pandemic long. That's not new for us. It's not new for us. We've been strained for a very long time. I was never missing. I was in my home. I was being seen by doctors. First and foremost, with 2 people in the house with COVID, we both had COVID. There was no visiting. There was no visiting the house. We both had active COVID cases. Everyone in my family knew exactly where I was. And I have to say that it's really disappointing that things came to this, but it was not true. And even when it comes to my daughter, I feel like she was easily manipulated. People are saying she's a kid. She's not a kid. She's 27 years old. She's my youngest. But in that situation, she was easily manipulated. And to go along with that, she's my baby. I have never been in danger. I am not in danger right now.
Work in progress.
I have never been in danger. I am not in danger right now.
Work in progress because she actually has to have an in-person interview with a police agency for them to personally look at her and accept that she's okay. So we've made arrangements to do that, and that'll take place in the next few days. Once that happens, then she'll come off of the National Registry. Well, I want Kelly to focus on getting through this part of it because of the emotional aspects that she's dealing with, not only from the illness and the residual impact of the illness, but just from the sense of betrayal she's dealing with from her family. I'll deal with the rest of it. There are some conversations that we are going to be having with respect to the fact that this was a false report of a crime.
Just want to say thank you to everybody who was concerned. I want to say thank you for your prayers, for every vigil, for every person. This is a horrible situation. I would never misuse the justice system to push a personal vendetta or agenda that I had with anybody.
Now, I feel bad for Kelly, especially being that sick and allegedly passing away through this process and them having to resuscitate her and bring her back to life. But like I said, it's a sad situation. 2 things that I'm going to point out. Actually 3. Kelly, it seems as if you didn't want to be bothered. It seems as if, which is very selfish. And the reason why I would say it's selfish is because it seems as if your family knew what was going on with you while you were in the hospital, but when you came home, there was no contact. The least you could have did was contacted someone, even if it was via text message or just a quick voice memo, sending it to them, letting them know that you're healing and you're doing the best you can. And also to let them know, do not try and visit you, especially while you were, positive for C19 or your husband had been diagnosed after you. I don't see why you think it's okay, Kelly, to not alert your family, of these things, especially if they're worried. I don't get it. I understand that Kelly and her sister have an estranged relationship, but if your daughter's doing all of this, clearly there is some type of dysfunction or miscommunication, Kelly. And I don't understand why you think it's okay as a mother to not let your daughter know, especially after making it home after something so severe, to not let her know that you're okay. Just because people get discharged from the hospital does not mean that they always make it. So I do think you should be ashamed of yourself for not letting your daughter know. Now, anybody else, I'm not going to tell you who has to know about your life. It's your life. But your daughter and your son especially, I do think that that's something that they should have known, and you should have at least been in contact with them. And I also don't think it's good judgment, Kelly, to date a man that would allow you to be estranged from your children, as well in certain aspects. Not that he's keeping you away from them, but if they're trying to embrace you or love on you or concerned about you, it's your responsibility as a mother to make sure that those needs are being met. And it doesn't matter how old your kid is. They can be 50. If they're concerned about you, you still need to make sure that that door is open so that they know that you are okay. Because if your daughter did this or your son did this, I think you would be very upset, Kelly, if they spoke with others besides you, or if they put their significant others before you within that time. Like I said, you didn't have to get on the phone and draw out these long conversations or explain yourself. The most you could have did is call your daughter, hey, baby, I'm okay. Don't try to convince me right now. Mom, trying to get better. I'll talk to you as soon as I feel better. I love you. If anything changes, I'll text you. Or call. It's just as simple as something like that. You don't have to, baby them and talk to them every single. No, you're a grown woman. They're adults, but still at the same time, it doesn't mean that they won't worry. And I think that if you would have handled that immediately, instead of, I'm not going to say be a drama queen, but it just seems really unnecessary. All of this could have been avoided, Kelly. And it seems like you're pointing the finger at everybody but yourself. You could have avoided all of this, not your family. They could have avoided it if you would have spoke to them, because they would have had no right, especially after you were discharged from the hospital. If they spoke to you while you were at home, they had no right to do any of these things. But if they hadn't spoke to you and something truly did happen to you, that just means that they care about you. That just means that they love you. And that's what families should do. So thank you all for watching this video. I love you all. Like and subscribe. I'm glad Kelly Price is okay. Hopefully this never happens again. And if so, she'll make better contact. Because like I said, I think she's pointing the finger at everybody but herself. And she is partial to blame. So once again, like the video, subscribe to the video, and we have more videos coming. I love you all. Until the next one. Bye.